So real quick, everybody, special shout out to Alex Payne. She made a list and for the most disturbing horror movies, and this was one of them on there. And I had seen it before, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I should review that movie. So check out her channel, Thrill House of Horror. She's awesome. She has a lot of great insights into horror movies. And her channel is a lot of fun, so thank you, Alex. And also it'd be super nice if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel as well, and hit the little notification bell, that little guy, so you know when my videos come out. Cool, let's get this on. So, do you ever watch a movie and think,
they don't really show dick going in, which is a huge concern?
Well, worry no more, because the movie we're talking about today is your one-stop shop for that. Yay! So, Lars von Trier. That's all I need to say. I am, of course, talking about the movie Antichrist. Like I said,
they don't really show dick going in, which is a huge concern.
This movie has it right from the beginning, and in slow motion, and it's Willem Dafoe's. Okay, so this movie has everything, and by everything, I mean just horrific, fucked up shit. I'm really selling this movie to you, aren't I? I'll sell it to you. It has a fox that talks. Fox that talks. A deer giving birth. Almost. Let's scratch the deer. Just scratch the deer. We'll just focus on a fox that talks. Oh, it's cute, right? Those of you who know Lars von Trier aren't gonna be fooled by my selling it with a cute fox. I told you it was cute. So this movie is about two parents living in the aftermath of their toddler falling out a window. That's at the beginning of the movie when they're having sex in slow motion. I don't know. So, Tartuffe, what did you think about the movie? What? Oh, nothing. I hate children. I could see that. Okay, you know what? I'm through trying to sell it to you, and I'm gonna give it to you straight. It is about the aftermath of living with the death of a child. Willem Dafoe, he, and Charlotte Gainsbourg, she, those are their names in the movie, they lose their toddler. While having sex, kid falls out a window. And like the sex, it is also in slow motion. So, wow. So after that, she is in the hospital, just grief-stricken, which makes sense. And Willem Dafoe, he's a psychiatrist, and he doesn't think that the doctors in the hospital that she's in are giving her the right treatment. And so he decides to take it upon himself. And I think that's like a thing, right? That's like a thing where, you know, if you're married or together with somebody, like, and one of you is a psychiatrist, you shouldn't take on the other person as like a client, right? It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. And this movie shows us that. But he does take it upon himself. And one of her big fears is nature, right? And so Willem Dafoe is like, well, let's take you into nature. I know that that's not what he sounds like in this movie or in real life. That's more of like a lighthouse Willem Dafoe. But whatever. So he takes her into nature because that's her second fear. Of course, if she's scared of it, why not just throw her into it? Yikes. Anyway, he's all about the exposure therapy, right? So he's trying that. They go up into the woods to their cabin to try and, you know, chill out and work through their stuff. So they're in the cabin and, you know, she's freaking out and he starts seeing things in the woods like the fox that talks and the deer that's almost having a baby. And a crow. There's a crow, too. I don't know. It all manifests in violence and sadomasochism, and it is friggin' bizarre. They're talking about what happened to their kid, and then she goes crazy on him, and they have angry sex, right? They just have angry sex, and I know some people out there might be like, well, you know. This is another level, okay? And she just goes at him, and then she smashes his cock with a block of wood. There's blood. There's a lot of blood. And then she drives a piece of iron through his leg, and it's insane. And then like they have sex at the bottom of a tree as well. And there's like bodies underneath the roots, and it's just, it's so bizarre. Anyway, I can talk about that as like a basis for the movie, but it honestly, it goes so much deeper than that. It suggests like a retake on Abrahamism. Look up that as well, because that is just a whole nother video. And then, you know, it's also obviously about depression and mental illness. And Lars von Trier actually wrote it when he was going through his own stuff in the hospital. He had an episode, and he wrote this, came up with the idea for it in the hospital, and so that's where this movie comes from. It comes from a very real place. He did say, though, that it was these are his words, a fun way to work through his depression. Who doesn't like fun? A couple interesting things. The executive producer gave away that the revelation at the end of the movie was that the earth was created by Satan and not God. You know, probably at like a cocktail party or something like that. Oh, guess what? In this movie, Satan created Earth, not God. Lars von Trier was pissed. So they had to delay filming for a long time so he could go back and rewrite the script. And that's what we see. Now, if you can find the uncensored version, watch that one, because there is a censored version, and it's just not... It's not what he wanted, but a lot of places even banned this movie. I mean, it's insane. All I'll say is that there are plaster molds of vulvas and penises and legs with holes in them. And again, a deer trying to give birth. So yeah, this was banned in a bunch of places, but it is worth a watch. It's in the Criterion collection, which is awesome. I found one quote that is kind of summarizes this whole movie as a whole, and it's by Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert said he gave it a 3.5 out of 4 stars. And what he said at the time was, "What's in it for me? We are at least convinced we're watching a film precisely as he intended it." What else can you say? Yeah. I mean, and you have to respect that as a filmmaker. As a filmmaker, as an actor, you gotta respect, like, douchey executives not jumping in and changing everything. So that being said, go watch this movie. You may not like it. You may be grossed out. You may faint. People actually fainted. People walked out of the theater. I'll be honest. So, yeah, I guess I recommend it because it does
show dick going in, which is a huge concern.